Welcome to the second episode of My Relationship Matter. I posted this question in Washington Pinoy, a Facebook page of Filipinos here in the state of Washington. And this was the question: why did you petition your parents to live with you here in the US? And boy, it generated a lot of response. And here's the list of the top 5 answers. First, so they can help watch the kids. Second, so they can experience the beauty of life here in the US. Third, so they can have better medical care. Fourth, so we can be together as a family. And fifth, so they can work here and help their family and relatives back home in the Philippines. Now, let's break it down. First reason, so they can help watch the kids. Now, you know what? Life here in the US is tough, especially if both of the couples are working and they have young kids. Most of the couples need to work, and some of them are even working 2 jobs. Only the really rich people can afford a full-time nanny or yaya. Now, it's not like in the Philippines where a middle-class couple could easily afford to hire a live-in yaya with katulong on the side. Now, why do both parents need to go to work? To afford the lifestyle here in the US, like going to dinner outside at least once a week, or to go on vacation at least once a year, and go shopping at least once a month. Also, we have a lot of bills to pay here. We have to pay our rent, or our mortgage that we have to pay for 30 years, our utilities, our medical and car insurance, our credit cards, and a lot more. In short, yes, we are doing this to live and enjoy the American dream, but there is a price to pay. So, having parents around to watch the kids is a huge help and blessing to the couple. The second reason is this: so they can experience the beauty of life here and in the US. Every loving and grateful sons and daughters' desire for their parents is for them to go to see what we see, the places that they can only see on televisions or pictures, like the Mount Rainier in Washington State, Niagara Falls in upstate New York, the Grand Canyon in Arizona, and Disney World in Florida. And the list is endless. We also want them to eat what we eat, like steaks and not just lechon. The unlimited selection of seafoods and not just bangus, tilapia, and dying every day. The different flavors and choices of cakes and chocolates and not just biko and chocolate. These are food that are very affordable here, but they can hardly find or afford in the Philippines. The bottom line is, we want them to enjoy the remaining days of their life here in the land of milk and honey. So the third reason is so they can have a better medical care. Have you heard of a patient in the Philippines who had cancer treatment or quadruple heart bypass surgery and got out of the hospital without paying a centavo? Never heard of one. In fact, you will not be admitted if you don't have cash to pay the hospital as a down payment, even if you are already dying. Worse, the hospital won't release you until you fully paid your medical bills. We spent close to 2 million, actually, 2 million pesos when my father-in-law had a heart bypass surgery in 2011 and still did not make it alive. However, here in the US, hospitals won't ask for a down payment before they will admit you. And you will be cared by the best doctors here. If you don't have money or insurance, you still can be released debt-free through charities. Now, if your parents are eligible, they can have the best medical care here in the US for free that would even pay for their prescriptions and even for their long-term care. The fourth reason is this: so we can be together as a family. Now, there's no more comforting feeling and happy feeling than having your parents here with you and you don't need to worry about them anymore in the Philippines, right? Having somebody to talk to when you are down and having somebody to encourage you and give you some wise advice when needed. We Filipinos value our relationship with our parents and family members so highly that if we can only afford to petition all of them, we will do exactly that. No wonder why a lot of Filipino American citizens here in the US are doing their best to work and to save money to petition not only their parents but also their siblings, even if it would take years and years of waiting. And fifth and lastly, here's the reason, so they can work here and help their family and relatives in the Philippines. Now, America is a land of opportunity, especially to those who are still able to work, not picky with work, and not lazy to go to work. And I'm proud to say that Filipinos fit perfectly in these categories. We are hardworking people who are willing to do whatever work that is offered in front of us as long as it will pay us. And I know a lot of Filipino parents who are petitioned here by their children who used to have supervisory or managerial positions in the Philippines who did not think twice to take jobs here in the US as a sales lady, a janitor, a caregiver, a grocery stocker, a landscaper, and other jobs that they will not do in the Philippines because of their education and former position. But they are proud of what they are doing here. Now, and this is one thing that I like about America, the no discrimination in age in the workplace. It gives our not so young parents the opportunity to still work and earn money. Now, you might ask, why do they still work if their children who petition them can afford to support them? Well, first, they don't want to die in boredom at home, just watching the Filipino channel the whole day. Second, they don't want to feel useless if they know that they still can work. You know what? Laziness in most Filipinos is not in their vocabulary. Third, there's a lot of opportunities out there in the job market for them to be gainfully employed here. And fourthly, so they can send money to their children, to their grandchildren and relatives back in the Philippines without asking money from their children in the US who petition them. This is what I noticed to most Filipino parents here in the US. They don't want to be a financial burden to their children here in America because they know how hard life is here in the US. In fact, they want to be of help in whatever way they can to financially help their families here in the US. The fifth and last reason why they chose to work is to save money for their retirement, or even to have enough work points to be eligible for Social Security benefits when they retire. Now, so these are the good parts. Now, having your parents, especially those who live with you, have a lot of upsides. However, there are some downsides as well. Downsides that could potentially ruin your relationship if not dealt with correctly. In our next episode, we will talk about those downsides. And of course, I will share some nuggets of wisdom on how we can avoid or limit those sticky traps that could potentially ruin your relationship as a couple and as a family. So watch out for that very important episode. This My Relationship Matter is a ministry of International Bible Christian Fellowship in Linwood, Washington, and of the Philippine American Church in Marysville, Washington. Again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to share this with others because sharing is caring. Also, please click like, subscribe, and the bell icon to be notified for the next episode. God bless us all. Mabuhay tayong lahat.